And we're talking about looking at the graphs and identifying the domain, range, and translations. So the best thing to do is graph it on the calculator. So I'll go to Desmos and I'll put in that function. So I've got y equals, and it's 2 times the square root of x plus 4. And the plus 4 is under the radical. So I can look at that, and actually if I compare that to the, well, just looking at the domain and range of that, all right, if I zoom out, I can see that the domain is starting at -4, right? Domain is the x's, so I'm starting, the lowest x I can have is -4. And then it goes on forever to the right. So the domain would be -4 to positive infinity. Okay? So my domain, which is my x values, if it starts at -4 and it goes forever to the right, that is going to be -4 to positive infinity. And since it can actually, there's a point at -4, I'm going to change that to be a square bracket, because it can actually equal -4. But this will be parentheses because you cannot get to infinity. All right, so that's the interval. Or I could say x's are greater than or equal to -4. That would be set notation. Okay? If I'm looking at the range, I need to know the y values, right? So the range is going to be the y values. And so, again, that starts at here. I'm looking at the y-axis now. So that would be at 0, right? At 0. Oh, and it can actually equal 0 because at this point it actually is right there. So that would be 0 with a square bracket. And then it goes up forever, right? It goes up, it goes to the right, and it's going up to positive infinity, okay? And so set notation, that would be the y's are greater than or equal to 0. Okay? And if I was to look at, right, because if I look at that endpoint there on my graph, if I look right here, all right, that's at the x is -4, all right, so it's -4 to infinity for x, and then the y value is 0, so it goes from 0 to positive infinity for range. So if I look at what my parent function is, right, the parent function is y equals just a plain old square root of x. You take away the numbers, that's the parent function, which is usually centered around 0, 0, around the origin. So how did it move? Well, it moved to the, how did I get from the blue to the red? Well, I moved to the left 4, all right? So, and then also it's much steeper, right? It's got a different slope, and so that would be a stretch. My y's are doubled by 2. So inside here, this plus 4 is going to move it to the left 4. Right, and this 2 in front is going to be a stretch by a factor of 2. All right, so those are my 2 transformations, stretch and translation to the left. Okay, and I think that is all that they asked me for on this, right? We've got domain range, check, and then translations or transformations, all right? The going to the left and also the stretch. Okay, so now go ahead and do number 2. Look at the graph using your Desmos.